Hey Shane, a company from Canada is making a passive 3D headset for the Switch.
That sounds cool.
Hot take.
Ever since the dawn of the Nintendo Switch, everyone's been talking about technology that could be bundled with the Switch, or the Switch could be used in to form a whole bunch of different gaming functions, and one of those things that's been brought up a lot has been virtual reality glasses. We haven't really seen anything like that until today. Adam, what do you got?
Yeah, okay, so we had heard rumors about maybe 3D being a thing with the Switch, but we spoke about why that probably isn't a great move for the system previously.
And we will be talking about that a little bit more later in the video. But
so this Canadian company called Exklim has now, they're going to be releasing a headset for the Switch that you can just kind of plop your Switch into, that they're referring to as the first headset for the Switch, which isn't technically true, because I believe there was another headset that was made. But supposedly, this headset, by using a technique called color switching, will add depth to your games. And this is supposed to work with every title on the Switch.
Well, that's a lie. I'm going to assume that this company has some really cool marketing tactics and stuff like that.
They have a background, which I have to tell you about, because Exklim, this isn't their first sort of project. They had another thing that they had started on Kickstarter. It was a graphics card that you would plug into a laptop, and that would boost the performance of your games. And there was a lot of weirdness there, a lot of shiftiness. I'm not going to go into the technical specs of what happened there, but suffice to say that the Kickstarter campaign was shut down, like at the very last moment by Kickstarter.
Okay, now look, having a graphics card that boosts the performance of a laptop, we've seen these before.
Yeah.
NVIDIA produces stuff like that. It's not that out of the realm of possibility.
Yes.
And I have no doubt in my mind that the folks that are making this, their name is again?
Exklim.
Exklim. I have no doubt Exklim is making a case for the Switch that you put the Switch into and you strap to your head.
We've seen this with Samsung phones to make a VR experience. This isn't anything incredibly out of left field.
Now, if they're adding any kind of depth, likely it's going to be artificial depth. So let's just say that there is some kind of color switching?
Switching. It's a color switch technology, Shane, which allows depth in your games. We could be playing Breath of the Wild and you're going to be able to smell the flowers. Okay, no, but there may be some sort of really weird sort of...
Look... The way that this
color switching adds depth. That's what they say. They don't explain it.
I know they don't explain it
because they didn't explain it.
Because the only way that would work is if you have like red and green lenses or blue lenses,
like old glasses for driving.
Because that's what they used to do. That's
color switching technology.
Okay, now look, I doubt that they're doing this or they're talking about this. But even if they were to be making some kind of thing that would work with all games, I have to assume that it deals primarily with a fake look of 3D, not a real look of 3D, because they have to have direct access to the engines that are being used in these games in order to produce what basically is a left image and a right image that are slightly offset.
We have to lay this out because I don't think we have. They're not connected to Nintendo.
Yeah.
These guys are just dudes creating this headset for the Switch.
I mean, do you remember a long time ago? Maybe many of you kids out there went to go see some fireworks in the sky. And then somebody in the little audience there that was giving out these glasses that had kind of fractured lenses. So when you put them on, it would make everything look like all sparkly and stuff.
I don't remember that. That sounds very cool, though.
No, it was. So
you're saying this is the exact same experience?
It literally was just broken lenses. That's all it was, and it created this really neat effect. But you're already seeing fireworks.
Yeah.
You didn't need to see more sparkles in your fireworks. So all I'm saying is, like, people have talked about doing these things for years. Specifically, we've looked at a lot of VR headsets on this show. I've taken a look at way too many. Some that were really good, many that were really bad. And even when they say they can add 3D depth, and this isn't even the first time I've heard 3D depth in general from a bunch of different systems, I have actually seen a company in New York, I believe that's where they're focused, or actually might have been out of California. They create a gigantic TV that uses the same 3D technology you would have seen on the Nintendo 3DS.
3DS, yes.
Yeah, you might have remembered seeing that monitor too.
Yeah, I did. It was pretty impressive, but it wasn't quite 100% there.
The game had to be 3D. It had to have 3D functionality. To my knowledge, to Adam's knowledge, to everyone's knowledge in the world, there is no Nintendo 3DS, there's no Switch related games. If they said they did a headset for like 3DS games, would have believed them. You found out how to get the left image and the right image and all that. But the moment you said Switch, Switch doesn't have that built in. That technology isn't there, as far as we know.
The fact that they're not connected to Nintendo whatsoever, just like, it proves to me that this is going to be, it's going to feel like a second-rate sort of experience. So one of the things about this technology, we've spoken before about how the Switch in handheld mode is often in 720p, and that's not great for virtual reality gaming. Now, one of the things that this headset supposedly is going to do is smooth out the sort of jankiness that a 720p image would be close up. So I'm thinking we're going to get that smeared Vaseline kind of look with these lenses. Do you know what I mean? They say they're incorporating smoothness.
Why are they saying this? You're not okay.
Color switching technology, Shane.
Look at the image that you're looking at. Look, we're gonna throw up an image of what this thing supposedly looks like. Okay, look at this. That right there shows that a Switch is being placed in front of a plastic visor thing. Okay, the only way you smoothen out the image of a 720p image is by using anti-aliasing, which means you have some core structure or some understanding of the technology where you're actually boosting the anti-aliasing properties of the Nintendo Switch, which, by the way, no, you don't. You're not doing that, because then every single game offers a different solution. Plus, the lenses would have to be amazing in order to upgrade a 720p image. Do you know how impressive this would be? If you've created this technology, I will bow down to you. If you've created a plastic lens that once an image passes through, it sharpens.
They didn't say sharpens, they said smooth.
I don't care what they said. That doesn't exist.
Okay.
No, but just a little bit more.
Go ahead.
It's a 720p image.
Yeah.
The reason why we've had so many issues with VR recently is because most of the VR headsets you see have two separate, or have one screen in front of you, and the screen is separated into two stereoscopic images.
Stereoscopic,
yes. So what you're getting is a left image is a little bit different, and a right image is a little bit different. When you have a 720p screen in front of you, which is what the Nintendo Switch is, you're taking that 720p image and you're breaking it in half, which means you're actually working with a resolution that's closer to something you probably would have seen on a GameCube. You do understand how low quality that would look? And then, that means that all of these games have to actually look like they're being split out. And that means that you have to have made some kind of VR technology that takes all the games that exist on the Nintendo Switch, breaks them in half. So, what I have to assume you did, from everything I've gathered here, is that you have a lens in front of the screen, the Nintendo Switch screen, whatever it may be, that is literally breaking up the images in some really weird way to make it look like it falsely has depth. That's the only way you'll achieve this.
I don't see this as, because looking at this device, they haven't released a lot of the specs or how this tech actually works. It doesn't look like it's going to be using anything within the mechanism itself to like change the software. I don't even think this thing is going to have like batteries or be plugged in. It just looks like something you're literally resting your Switch in. So when it comes to, like, we talked about just the visuals of this, but there's so much else that so many other things I can think of that are just wrong with this from a design perspective.
I mean, it's look, folks. I don't want to say it's impossible because I don't want to tell this company not to keep on trying what they're trying. But the idea of what this is, the concept of what this is, doesn't make sense. I know how VR technology works. I've dealt with it a lot. From when I was a kid to now, and everything that you could possibly do, the only thing I can possibly see this being is some kind of weird, like, funny lens that kind of makes it look like it's breaking up the image in some weird way. What it could possibly be is just the lens itself is some big lens that goes in front of your eyes, and then it kind of warps the image in front of you to make it falsely look like you have depth, which warps the image of the game and isn't an actual true 3D image. And on top of that, you wouldn't be able to see things in layers. This means that if a character is standing in front of you in a screen, you should be able to close your left eye and right eye and kind of see around them, right? With this technology, it would just be a flat image just warping on your face. It's the only way I can see them doing this, and that's not a good thing because it would look really weird. and possibly make you sick.
So image quality aside and the use of 3D within this thing, Shane, you've played the Switch, you've had it docked and you've brought it out. Like what's the first thing that pops into my mind when I take my Switch out of the dock after I've been playing for a long time is how freaking hot it is.
Yeah.
Okay, and though this thing does have little places for ventilation and stuff, even in handheld mode, the Switch gets warm. Right, yeah. This thing's going to be very, very close to your face. There's so many issues here. So not only is the heat of the system an issue, the Switch isn't the lightest thing in the world. It's not a heavy console by any means, but attaching this to your head, very front heavy, by the way.
Just take your Switch right now and hold it close to your face and try and look at it.
Right.
The lens has to basically demagnify that image in front of you so you can actually see what you're looking at.
Yeah.
And then when it's that close, depending on what they've shown off here, I would hope you're just seeing a box in front of you that basically looks like a floating TV. That's the best you can hope for.
Yeah, and we've had units like that for like over a decade that would just have a screen right in front of you. But I'm saying this thing's even just going to be so like forward heavy that you're probably going to have like a neck cramp after using this for like an hour or whatever.
I just can't imagine this being like something that anyone would really want to use.
I wrote down right here, reminds me of Sega Activator, laser scope. Do you remember the laser scope? Fire, fire, fire. This just seems like a gimmick to me.
Here, folks, I got one. I'm pulling way back from my memory on this.
Are you going Tiger Electronics?
Philips Scuba. Oh. Go look up the Philips Scuba.
You made a video on the Scuba, didn't you?
No, I never did, because I've never found one. Okay. If I find one, I will make a video on it. But the Philips Scuba is essentially a TV in a box that's like this weird looking headset that sits in front of you, and it's just a floating screen in front of you. That's all it is. That's what I assume this is. They've taken the Nintendo Switch, they've added some marketing hype to it, and they're likely making an incredibly cheap headset that proposes that it's doing 3D or VR in some way, but it's simply not. This is just a gimmicky device. Yes. And if you want the Switch in front of your face, this might be the best way for that to happen. Outside of actually just holding it in front of your face.
I guess, yeah. Take out those lenses, the color switching technology that smooths things out, and then you can just have a thing holding the Switch.
Why would they say that? Why would they say that? Why would they say a color switching technology that smooths out the image? Yeah. I like it's so.
It makes me wonder if there are like electronic components to this thing, but it doesn't seem like there are any.
Do you know how much I don't want to call this a scam? Like, I'm trying really hard.
Even after their
Kickstarter again?
Their Kickstarter debacle.
What's the name of this company again?
Skyrim. No, it's Exklim.
Exklim. I'm giving you so much the benefit of the doubt here, folks. I really am, but like, you're lying. There's no way. There's no way you made a piece of plastic that takes an image from a video game system. Do you know, of all these companies that exist out there, all the ones that have all the money in the world, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, everyone that's been making cell phones, that have been working so hard to make high-resolution screens with anti-aliasing and better performance, if all they had to do was take a piece of plastic and put it in front of their damn TV, don't you think everyone would have done that? You didn't. You...
Prove us wrong, Exklim. Prove us wrong. Hey, what do you think about this? Do you think it's legit? Do you think Shane needs some sort of blood pressure medicine? Let us know what you think in the comments below.